All right. I'm just doing a impromptu game room tour. So my game room is in the attic of my house. So here we go. We're walking up the stairs. This is just some of my, these are some of my favorite games, artwork for them. These are all co-op games that I grew up with. Somebody made me this Mario. Some random knickknacks, some extra consoles. I got this Axel from Streets of Rage 2. This is a Sonic picture somebody drew for me. Okay, so this is the main view here. So if you see anything that you want me to talk about, let me know. But I'm just gonna kind of slowly go over everything. So on this side, I just have this Mario 3 picture. I got this bootleg Toe Jam and Earl backpack. Across this whole room, I have these Govee lights. And they are connected to the TV with this light. So whatever happens on the TV, it changes the color. So I think that just makes it more immersive. I have Goof Troop going on Super Nintendo, which is one of my favorite games ever. And then I also have these curtain lights. And the lights up here as well sync up, but I don't have those on. This is the modern section. I have just some of my HDMI consoles. I have a PS4 360. There's a Switch down there. PS3. There's a Wii U. I don't have a PS5. And then there's my PC that I built. Over here, we have all my controllers. They're all organized in here. So, like, these are my original Xbox controllers in there. Everything else, you know, all organized, whatever. So easy access to my controllers. Let's go this way. Up here, some extra consoles. That's my original NES that I had from my childhood. I got a Master System here. This is just a random 8-bit controller. It's a really great controller though. This is my Vectrex, one of my favorite things in my collection. And I have these reproduction overlays. So whatever game that I want to play, I can put these on there. And I also have a ROM cart for it, so it has the whole library on that, plus some homebrews. It's just a little CRT DVD player. This one is kind of, it actually is in color, but I have it going through component, so it just runs black and white, because that's easier for my setup. And then I got a Virtual Boy, there's a consoleized Virtual Boy, and I got a Neo Geo, or analog pocket, and then I got a black one in this case. Whoops. I also have a handheld collection here. I need to get some lights over here, but I'll show you that. All my Game Boys. I got Game Gears, Neo Geo Pocket, Wonder Swan, Turbo Express, Atari Lynx, 3DSs, another Atari Lynx, and then PlayStation Portables and Vitas. Down here, I have some charging stations for my controllers, Power Glove, more controllers, more controllers. And then down here, these are just some random VHS tapes I have. I don't really collect them, but I have some like old school 90s cartoons, pretty much. Like Dragon Ball Z, Ninja Turtles, X-Men, that kind of stuff. And then in these drawers, these are just extra cables in here. Nothing fancy. More tapes. I got Rugrats, more Dragon Ball Z, that kind of stuff. Okay. One of the most important things in this collection, though, is this painting. Sorry about that. Okay, this. Have you seen I Think You Should Leave? That's what this is from. My friend painted me this. This is an essential piece. Okay, now here's the retro section here. So I have 4 CRTs plus that little one, all connected. And they're just running the same signal. So I'll start over here. This is I don't know what the actual model is, but it's a consumer grade JVC. And it's a great CRT. It's one of my favorite consumer grades. And then underneath, these are all my consoles. And everything I have here is running off of EverDrives, or they're like modified, so I can just play whatever game I want. So I got my Genesis Model 2, I got a Sega Saturn, that's a Japanese one. Dreamcast, there's my Model 1 with a 32X. This is my PC Engine, that's my Mister 3DO, Jaguar, and Atari 7800. And the way that I have this set up is basically any console that I want to turn on, it will automatically switch. And I'll show you how I do that. But over here, this is my favorite CRT. I love playing on this one. This is a D24 BVM. And pretty much any signal you put on it, it looks great. And up above that, I have this. This is a matrix switcher. That's how I'm splitting all these signals. Under here, I got my Neo Geo AES with the flash drive, and flash cart, and an original Xbox. I also have these speakers that are really great, and they're insulated, so they're safe to have around a CRT. Okay. Here's a VCR that I got a while ago, and it eats my tapes, so I don't use it. I need to get a new one, or figure out how to clean it. But, okay. This is just some old school computer monitor. I don't think it's anything special, but I have it running through my... Back here, I have a RetroTink 5X, so I'm just line doubling that, upscaling it to 480p. So that's how that's running. But I also have, on this side, a RetroTink 4K down there. So, again, the signal's running all the way over to the flat screen, and that's how I'm upscaling all my old consoles there. Okay, next, this, like I said, behind my TV, I have all these consoles running through Component. That's just the easiest way. But I have 2 G-comp switches, so they're automatic switchers. So I can just turn this off, and then any console that I want to turn on. Let's turn on my PS1. Oh my god. I think it got unplugged. Ignore that. Let's turn on the N64. Alright, there we go. There's the N64. Now I gotta figure out why the hell my PS1 didn't power on. I'm guessing it just got unplugged. I have a cat, and she keeps running over stuff behind this. It's a rat's nest back there, alright? So I'm not gonna even show you that. But yeah, turn on the Neo Geo. That one takes a minute to boot up. But there you go. There it is. There. GameCube. Yep. And I have a SD card in here also. I can turn on my Saturn. There we go. We have to replace the battery apparently. Genesis. Yeah, so whatever I turn on, it's pretty easy to switch around. And then I have this wireless controller connected to it. So this has the whole Genesis library. Let's just boot up ToeJam and Earl. Yeah. Let's come back over here. I got, yeah, so my Super Nintendo, I have an Analog NT Mini, N64, GameCube, PCFX. I barely ever play this. There's like 2 games that I really like on it. And then I got this PS1. So as you can see, this one's opened up. I swear it works. But it's open because I have this hard drive in there that has the entire PS1 library. So it's just a thick boy, so it doesn't have to close all the way. And then I got a PS2. And the PS2 has its own hard drive as well. Okay, and then, oh, I also have Commodore 64. And then I have the Commodore 1701 monitor, which is a really cool monitor. Again, this one's black and white only because I'm running component through it. I'm waiting for this adapter that converts component to S-video. So then I can actually see this in color. But I just wanted to be able to have it turned on just for the sake of displaying everything at once. Yeah. But yeah, back here I got some more lights, but it's a disaster. Don't look back there. All right, sorry, I shouldn't have even shown that shit. That's where my cat goes and unplugs stuff. All right, I also have these MoonPod beanbag chairs. These are like the most comfortable beanbag chairs. They just lightweight. That's what I use for this retro corner. They're really comfortable. Here's ToeJam and Earl. Yeah. Well, this has always been one of my favorite games. If you haven't seen my most recent video, I talked about ToeJam and Earl quite a bit. And that video is different than what I usually do. I did exclusively B-roll. There was no like game capture. I did it all off of CRTs. And that video was just talking about my history with co-op gaming and why I love co-op gaming, games that I grew up with. And ToeJam and Earl is definitely one of those games. It's always one of my favorites. Yeah. But this thing looks pretty good, honestly. But yeah, this is the CRT I use the most. Okay, here's my cat. Her name is Rosalina. My daughter named her because she loves Mario. Okay, and I got these curtains back here that are kind of cool. And then also, so this couch, I had to find something that could fit up here because it's very narrow space. And I like this couch because it has 2 different ottomans that I bought. So it's pretty comfortable. It's a good spot to lean back. I'll show you the view that I have here. So from here, it's pretty immersive. I got this sound bar and I have speakers behind me this way. So whatever I'm playing, this is a pretty good central spot, but I can also go over to the retro corner. But anyway, that's this. Yeah. So, oh god, this cat is attacking me actually. So yeah, anyone, if there's anything you want to see in here, closer look, let me know. I never really do these impromptu, casual. I don't stream very often anyways, but just wanted to walk through this. I did a short about my game room tour and got some comments that people wanted to see a more in-depth review of it. So that's what we're doing. I also didn't show you this area over here. Again, I have this Sonic 3 poster, one of my favorites, but this is kind of a mess. I don't really have a great spot for this stuff. Yeah, this is like, I don't really have much of a collection anymore. I just have some modern games, mostly Switch, and it's not that organized over here. But I have some old comics that are pretty much just Sonic and Ren and Stimpy. I have some Beavis and Butthead. I got the Sonic 1. I love Sonic. I have 2 copies of this for some reason. I don't think it's worth anything, but Sonic was always my first love. And I have I just have all these running. There's really no reason. I like CRTs, and I wanted to be able to sit at any position in this room and play a CRT, whatever one. I usually don't have them all running at the same time when I'm in here, unless I just want to show off the space because it looks cool. But it's just for convenience, yeah. Like, I could turn on any CRT, any TV, and any console, and then it just works. It's all about convenience. I just wanted to be able to have easy access to these games. And I don't have a collection of games anymore, so I'm just running all these off of like hard drives and SD cards. So I have the chance to play anything I want without tinkering too much or looking for things. But yeah, it's just about the convenience. Thanks. Yeah, it's an attic space. I'll show you. So, yeah, this is the downstairs to my actual living room, and there's my cat, and it looks, yeah, there's these very dangerous steep stairs. But this is where I put everything. Luckily, like, I'm just renting this place, but I got this spot and they had like a finished attic. And I was like, that would be perfect for a game room. I always wanted something like that. So it's pretty small space, but I think I utilize the space as best as I possibly can. And it's pretty like cozy and immersive space for gaming, I think. Yeah. Has anyone played Typing of the Dead? I have 2 of these Dreamcast keyboards to actually play this game co-op, and it is one of my favorite weird games to play. If you haven't, just look it up, because the characters are so weird. They're literally Toe Jam, yeah. The characters will just be like wearing a literal Dreamcast on their back, and then they have a keyboard in front of them, and it'll just be like typing, and that's how they kill the zombies and stuff. It's one of the weirdest games I've ever seen in my life, but it's awesome. Yeah. Let's see. Here, I'm gonna boot up some Sega Saturn. Oh, this controller's dead. I have a lot of wireless controllers, so I can play most of these games over on the couch also, if I wanted to. But a lot of the time, they're dead, so it kind of just, yeah, defeats the purpose. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, so in here, in my Saturn, I have a mode installed, so that's a hard drive. So again, it has like the whole library. Dun, 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 dun. Hang on a second. Okay. So I have these all organized. These are all the co-op games. One of my favorites. I don't even know how you say the name. Let me see. Yeah, it has a hard drive in it. So it's an optical drive emulator, so you remove the hard drive, or you remove the disk drive, and then you put a hard drive in there. So I have that for my Dreamcast and my PS1. Yeah. So all these systems I have all set up to basically run any game at any time. And it's on the real hardware, so it's kind of cool. It's like a big investment, and honestly, just playing this game on an emulator would be so much easier and only slightly worse. So I don't know why I did this, other than I just wanted to. It's not practical, but yeah, I mean, I've definitely spent way too much money on this stuff. But this is like years and years of gathering things. Okay, has anyone ever heard of this game? It's called, I don't even know what the hell you call this game. Definitely not practical. This is one of my favorite Saturn games. It's called like Gensetsu. I can't even say the name. But you have this little cursor, and you go around fighting guys. You're this ninja. Anyways, it's hard to do this with one hand. I'm just doing this with my phone, and yeah, struggling. Anyway. Yeah, this game's co-op. I don't know how to pronounce this. I don't think it ever had a modern release. As far as I know, this only came out on Sega Saturn in Japan. It's like Jinsetsu Tawamaru or Shinrei. I don't know how you say this, honestly, and I feel so stupid trying to say it. Anyways, I'm just screwing around. I can't do this with one hand, but it's a cool game. The thing that's cool about it, though, is that there's no levels. It's just a continuing game. So you'll have these little transitions, but the game just continues to move forward consistently, fluidly, and it's just like this one long level, pretty much. And it has some cool like 3D backgrounds mixed with 2D sprites. But anyways, this is like one of my go-to favorite kind of obscure games. Let me here. I'll look up the name so you guys can actually see what it's called, because I can't pronounce it. Now you can see me in the reflection here. Oh my god. All right. This is the most casual stream, not professional here. Well, this didn't even go back to the menu. I didn't plan any of this, you guys, so. Well, there's the name in Japanese. Huh. Well, okay then. I gotta turn off the whole system. It just reset that game. What are some of your guys' favorite co-op games? Nice. Glad that we've been able to show you some games that maybe you didn't know about. Okay, this game is called... This is what it's called. Shinrei... Oh yeah, Shinrei Jasetsushi Tawamaru. That's the game. Yeah, I love those Resident Evil games. I never actually beat Resident Evil 6, but 5, I love that one. It's one of my favorites. And Revelations 2 is also one of my favorites. Same, I love the first Shock Troopers. At one point, me and my friend, we went through and tried to play like every single co-op Neo Geo game. And Shock Troopers 2 is still pretty cool, but yeah, lots of slowdown. But the first one is a lot better. And the graphics, I think, are a lot better. Because doesn't the second one have like some weird pre-rendered graphics that look kind of off? Not as good. Sexy Parodius, yeah. Have you ever seen that? It's like a spoof. It's like a parody of shoot 'em ups, kind of. It's weird. Yeah, I could see that. It kind of looks like a PS1 game. And this is just like a collection of the co-op games on Sega Saturn that I organized. I'm trying to play through all these games right now, actually, with a friend. So I'll be doing a video about Japanese co-op Sega Saturn games at some point. And I think it's like one of the best co-op libraries ever. Even though a lot of them are shoot 'em ups, there's still just some cool, obscure games. Like the one I was showing you. Most of these are shoot 'em ups. Has anyone played Show Anarchy? For sure. The Saturn, it's one of my favorite libraries, I think. Especially if you get into the Japanese games. Like the American games, there's some really good games. But the Japanese library, there's some amazing games. Some of my favorites. Okay, this is one of the... I just have to boot this up. This is one of the weirdest games ever made. If you haven't seen this, I can't describe it. You just have to see it to believe it. Show Anarchy. Yeah. And yes, you can play this game with a friend. So you die, and then you... then you go into this other place, and you... Okay. Yeah. Yes, GameStack has probably covered this a few times, or... It is very weird. Oh my god, I don't even know what the hell is happening here. I'm not really sure. Yeah, kind of some Altered Beast vibes a little bit. As far as, yeah, playing online, if you're talking about like through emulation, I don't have a lot of experience, honestly, with emulating stuff. I usually play locally with my friends. I'm not sure with Parsec, sorry about that, but if you're emulating old consoles, I've heard of people having some good success with just using RetroArch, or RetroArch, I'm not sure what it is, and then they have a net play option. So if you're emulating that, they cover a lot of consoles with that emulator. But other than that, I'm not really sure, because I don't play online very often. Yeah. Anyways, this is one of the... This game is messed up, alright? I don't know why it exists. But I have played it quite a bit, for some reason. Just out of the... just for science purposes, I guess. Scientific purposes. I had to do the research, you know? What the hell? Anyway, that's enough of that. What else do we got here? I'm gonna turn that off. Let's get back to the Super Nintendo. Vectrex. Have you ever played the Vectrex? This is one of my favorite games on the Vectrex. It's called Starhawk, and you can play it co-op. It's hard to tell, but yeah, you have this cursor, and you just shoot. Anyways, this thing came out in like 1982. So I just always felt like this is really impressive for that time. And it's just like a built-in console and TV, vector monitor all in one. Yeah. One of my favorite things in my collection. I don't play it too often, but I just think it's really cool. And I'm glad that I have it. Does anyone have any co-op topics you want me to cover. I have a few videos backlogged. I'll tell you. I'm doing one about couch co-op. Yeah. Well, I'm doing one about couch co-op roguelike games, and then I'm doing a top 10 Sega Genesis games video. But yeah, what made me so passionate about co-op specifically, I actually just put out a video today kind of talking about it, where just growing up I had a younger brother and sister, and we were always looking for games that we could play together, and we just liked being on a team. So yeah, in this video I talked about the games that I played the most growing up, and they kind of shaped my taste for video games, I guess, and why I fell in love with co-op gaming specifically. You should check that video out. It's different than things I've done before. There's no game capture whatsoever. I just did off-camera CRT footage. It's all B-roll. So I put a lot of effort into that video, and I think it turned out pretty cool. I want to hear what you guys think. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Ever since I was a kid, I would like compile lists of co-op games. I always wanted to just play them all, I guess. And I built this website called classic.cooperative before I made my YouTube channel. And it's down, but I'm working on rebuilding it. But the idea was I just had these lists, and I wanted to have them organized so that if I got together with my friends and we wanted to play Super Nintendo, I could look at that list and just be like, oh, these are all the co-op games for Super Nintendo. So let's try these ones out. So it was more just for myself, but then I kind of built it up to be a little bit more user-friendly. And yeah, I'm trying to bring that back. Hopefully soon, in the next couple weeks, I'll have the website back. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I want to try to do some more unique things, but hopefully just make it a huge database for co-op lists, I guess. Kind of like Co-Optimus, but with more of a focus on retro stuff. Because Co-Optimus mostly talks about new stuff. They have some retro stuff, but it's not as in-depth as what I want to do. And they talk about online games, and I specifically only cover local co-op. Yeah. I swear to God, this cat, she went behind this rat's nest of cables behind this and unplugged something. And it took me hours to figure out what it was she unplugged because something just wasn't working. And I think she did that again with my PS1. So that's annoying. Oh yeah, I love the Twisted Metal games. I actually, a few years ago, me and my friends sat down and we played through all of them co-op, the ones that are co-op. And yeah, I'm surprised, especially with the TV show that came out, that they haven't brought the games back. But yeah, Twisted Metal 2 specifically, that's probably my favorite one. It's the one I played the most. But I also really like Twisted Metal Black on PS2. Oh yeah. It is, yeah. When you're an adult, it's much harder to get friends together just to play video games. So I feel you there. That's why, you know, that's the appealing thing about online gaming. I've I don't know. I still have some of my childhood friends, and we get together and play old school games every so often. Not as much as I want to, but I have like a good group of friends that are really into old gaming, so I'm lucky in that regard. And yeah, the Gauntlet games, I love those too. Gauntlet Legends specifically was the game that I played a lot. I talked about it in my most recent video, but yeah, it was a game that I played 4-player with my friends on N64 a lot growing up, so it's one of my favorites. Gauntlet on NES, though, not as big of a fan of that. Because I hate that your health is a timer and it's slowly draining the entire time you're playing the game. That just bugs the shit out of me. What else? I got these wireless controllers for Super Nintendo also. Has anyone played RunSaber? No. Actually, I've never combined alcohol with video games in my life, to be honest. I don't know. I don't really drink to begin with, and I have a lot of friends that are sober. But I know there's like plenty of people that do that, and I've just never tried that, to be honest. It's hard to get people to like just sit down and focus on playing a single video game. Yeah, I mean it's hard enough to get people to do focus on anything nowadays. I think watching a movie, I'm always trying to grab my phone unnecessarily. But with video games, you have to have your full focus, so that's why I like it. And when you can play with your friends, like you both have to be focused. If you're screwing around on your phone, you're not gonna accomplish anything. But yeah. Actually, I have played video games with a friend who was very high, and I got really pissed at him because he was doing terrible. We were trying to play Shovel Knight, and we were on the last level, and he was really high, and he just, with Shovel Knight, every time you die, you can come back, but it takes half of your life of the person who's still alive. And he just kept dying and doing that shit over and over again, and then we lost because he kept dying and then stealing half our life, then die half my life. So then I would die. So, anyways, that's a short anecdote about playing with a friend that was high, and that was not fun for me. Yeah. You know what? I don't know. With my friend, he probably already sucks at video games, and then I think he was really high. Like his dexterity, his hand-eye coordination was not there. And I mean, my experience, I uh, I don't have a lot of experience with weed or anything, but I remember one time I had the same thing. I was trying to play Donkey Kong Country Returns with a friend, and there's this like barrel spot where you're like a rocket, and you have to get through this area. And I kept trying it, and like, all right, let me do it. And I was kind of high, and then I just, and I just kept like immediately crashing the barrel. So for me, in my one experience trying to play while high, it didn't go very well. And then my friend was like, "You suck, dude. Just let me do it." And he took over. So I guess I've been on both sides of that, where I'm the person pissing off my partner, and then vice versa. This is another one of my favorite games that I don't think people talk about enough. It's called RunSaber on Super Nintendo, and it's kind of like Strider, but co-op. Well, anyways, I'm dying because I'm doing this with one hand, but I swear it's a cool game. You can like climb on walls and stuff. And you can do this special move. Anyways, so I didn't really have any plans for starting this. I just wanted to just talk about some games and show my game room. I finally have it in a place that I want it to be. I do play PC a lot, actually. I built a PC right here. And this thing is actually pretty powerful. You can play pretty much anything on it with decent specs. And then all I use it for are these like pixel art indie games on Steam. So definitely overkill for what I use it for. But I did play Split Fiction on it in 4K, and it looks amazing. So glad that, I guess that's like the first time I actually used it and was like, all right, this was maybe worth it. Well, I think in general, like local co-op games, you're not gonna really find them outside of like Nintendo or like the Haze Light Studio games, other than indie developers. So on Steam, there's lots and lots of indie co-op games, local co-op games. But outside of that, if you're looking for like AAA games, those barely exist now. So yeah, but on Steam, it's probably like the best place to find local co-op games right now, I think. I have like a huge library of Steam games that are all local co-op. All right, well, I've been doing this for like an hour almost, so I'm gonna get off of here and go do something. But thanks for everyone that actually watched this and asked questions and stuff. It's nice to talk to people. I want to actually start doing some live streams, probably playing games and talking. So if there's any like co-op games you'd like to see us play, let me know. And thanks for stopping by. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. I love that game. I've never beaten it. I want to. Alright, I'll see you guys. Thanks for coming.